right, so let's look at this security matter now from an operational perspective through the eyes of a security expert. Dr. Dickson Osagie, the CEO, D-Breeze Protection Services Limited, joins us from our Abuja studio. It's good to see you again, Dr. Osagie. Is that a new title?
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. I wonder if you were following the conversation, and of course, the report on the front page of the papers this morning, the Defense Headquarters attributing the crisis on the Plateau and in Benue to foreign herders, and the position expressed, vehemently by our last guest, who is a representative of the Fulani organization, ascribing much of this to the mischief of politicians. What are your thoughts on this as we start off?
All right, thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians. You see, when it comes to security, it's not about saying or all about talking or all about, laying blames or saying one or two localities are responsible. It's all about finding the facts. It's all about going after this criminal and identify who these guys are so that we'll be able to prosecute them and bring Nigeria to a state of peace. I do not, subscribe to, paper lines whereby military headquarters or defense headquarters will be laying blames, or the police headquarters will be laying blames. No, when it comes to security management, you don't lay blames. You go after the criminal elements and eliminate them from the territorial space of Nigeria. That's what we need, so that we'll be able to live in a state of peace without being coerced by this criminal element. And I must tell you that Nigeria is under invasion from the northeast, northwest, and other parts of the country, because these criminal elements are capitalizing on the vulnerable state of our security agents, and they are putting Nigerians in a state of fear. What is happening in Nigeria presently? Bukola, Nigeria is suffering from societal threats, and the Nigerian security agents and government security forces must go all out to bring these guys to justice, so that we'll be able to move around without being intimidated or being coerced by these criminal elements.
All right, Mr. Osagie, let me come in here on something. It's difficult. It's difficult for anyone, any rational person, to accept and believe that 26 years down the line, or even more, what is 26? More than that. But let's just say within this democracy, down the line, we are still trying to guess the identity of the perpetrators of this crime. I don't think that is acceptable. Something is fishy. Somebody is not being honest. I would like you to speak to that as well. The DHQ come to say foreign herders are responsible for invading, killing, and grabbing land on our sovereignty, our land. It doesn't make sense. I can't process it. It's not acceptable. So somebody is definitely trying to play politics. I don't know who. So I would like you to speak to that. On the other hand, we spoke to Mr. Al-Hassan. He talked about, I tried to ask him, is it that you don't have militia elements among your rank and file? He kept maybe denying or saying, oh, the farmers are the farmers, they don't carry arms and all of that. But the herders rather, the herders, they don't carry arms. But on one hand, he said when they attack, there's a retaliation in that sense. So I'm asking, which weapon did they use to retaliate and all of that? So it looks like everybody is saying this one is responsible. There's a shifting of blame everywhere. So from a security man's point of view, how do we tackle this so that our military and our armed forces can know exactly who to deal with the level of force that is required in this sense?
Thank you very much, Geoffrey. Fantastic question. Going by your first question, I think in the dailies from the Punch newspaper, I read that the Senate are trying to, brainstorm to identify or to, assess what is going wrong within our military formation and our security agents, so that you'll be able to bring in new strategy. I solely agree, because I must tell you, Geoffrey, that it's so shameful that for the past 12 years on, we've not got it right. We've not gotten it right, because it's so sad that we still have this criminal element, perpetrating this criminal activity within our territorial space. These guys don't have military barracks, they don't have naval base, they don't have air defense. We have air defense formation, we have naval base, we have military formations. What's going wrong? For me, I think the Nigerian Military Tactical Command or the Nigerian Army Tactical Command should go back to the drawing board and reassess their tactical operation because it's so sad. Like last week, we saw on papers where Boko Haram staged an attack on 27 Task Force Battalion and they successfully dislodged our military formation. Where was the brigade commander where this attack came? Did they allow Boko Haram to dislodge a brigade of soldiers? It's so disturbing because I've been getting calls from across the globe, and the question that comes is that what's happening to our soldiers? I tell you, Geoffrey, that our Nigerian Army is one of the bravest troops we have in this continent. But what's going wrong? I tell you, there's an absence of political will, and we'll also have one or two criminal elements that are sabotaging the effort of the Nigerian Army. Now, Boko Haram, each time they go on attack, they carry effective weapons. PKT, you see them moving with GPMG. And now, in a section of soldiers here in our country, we have just one GPMG in a section of soldiers. So I think the Nigerian Army Tactical Command should assess the number of GPMG they'll be giving our soldiers and the amount of GPMG in a platoon of soldiers so that they'll be able to carry out an effective operation against this military criminal element. I tell you, fire superiority is not about putting on uniforms. Fire superiority is all about what you have. What do you have? What do our soldiers have? So I agree with the Senate and I agree with the Minister of Defense. We need to re-strategize and ensure that these guys don't shame our soldiers, because I see that our soldiers are trained so hard and dying so cheap, which is so painful. Then going by the response from the last speaker, I tell you, you've seen videos moving around or flying around where we see farmer headers or some headers with arms and ammunition. It's not deniable. It's in the public view. Like what he said, that the Nigerian government should parade the people they think are disturbing this country. I agree. So for us to clear the doubt, each time you get most of these guys or you accost this criminal element, parade them so that we'll know if they are farmers, elders, if they are from the international community or whatever the case may be. But what is very important now is that the Nigerian military should go back to the drawing board, reassess their operational strategy and their tactical strategy to ensure that they bring Nigeria back to its glorious days. Because I believe in the military, and they have the capability and the capacity. What they should do is to look for those criminal elements that are selling information to this terrorist group and bring them to justice so that we'll be able to live in a state of peace in this country.
And you know, Dr. Osagie, part of the narrative is that these criminal elements, the foreign ones, if we were to quote reports of the authorities, access the country through the borders, and we have over 320 of these unmanned borders in the country. But towards the end of last year, the Ministry of Interior inaugurated the Bola Tinubu Technical Innovation Center. And that center, apart from the other functions that it has been constructed to address, is also to support real-time video surveillance to monitor unmanned border areas across the Federation. I wonder how this, Technical Innovation Center, has not been effective to identify real-time security threats to Nigeria's territorial integrity and checked these continuing attacks on the vulnerable in communities like Plateau and Benue. What are your thoughts on this?
Thank you. Fantastic question, Bukola. I want to tell you this for free, that security is achievable, and that's the truth. Anywhere in the world, security is achievable. It all depends on your technical disposition. It all depends on your applications. And that's why when it comes to security management, what you need to do is to go before the loss, not after the loss. The essence of that video surveillance is to, curtail crime in progress or carry out a post-mortem analysis after the commission of crime, so that we'll be able to ascertain what went wrong and be able to, project reasonable factors to mitigate futuristic incidents. So for me, I think our borderline is highly porous. We've been talking about border security for a very long time. And in the Nigerian immigration is only responsible for border security. There's a department, the border management department in the immigration sector that's supposed to, carry out most of this vulnerability assessment of our national borders. Bukola, you see, when we talk about security, people just think that security is not achievable. I tell you for free, if you go to other countries, what is the landmass of Nigeria? 923,000 square kilometers. It's governable. Go to other countries that has a larger landmass. They are well governed. So for me, I think we need to coordinate our national security strategy, bring everybody on board, whereby the military, the police, the other our military will come together and synergize. Because I observe that sometimes when an incident happens, what goes on is that you see that the immigration will be giving their report, civil defense will be giving their report. There's no coordination. That's why we need to have a national security coordination to ensure that we are able to curtail with this threat bedeviling our country, Nigeria.
I think that's the work of the NSA. The National Security Advisor is supposed to coordinate all of the security apparatus in that sense and coordinate intelligence. But let's stay on this border issue. I have a lot of commendation when it comes to the Minister of Interior, Tunji Ojo, when it comes to all of the passport thing he has done. He's really done a lot of work in that area, including what has happened at the airport. But one part that I haven't seen much being done that has to do with these porous borders. I think we have about 200 or 300 of these borders in the country, and a lot of them are quite porous, ungoverned spaces even in some cases. So how much can technology do? Because these are job opportunities just lying there. No, I don't know whether people don't want to go there, or whether it's a camaraderie between some of the communities that are on the other side as against the people that are in Nigeria. What is making it difficult to secure our border? Because that is where the crux of the matter is. So, for instance, if you look at Plateau, Plateau is not a border state. Benue has a bit of a border somewhere around Cameroon, but Plateau is just surrounded by a Nigerian state. But they have been seeing this carnage happen on the Plateau time and again. Even since this administration came in 2023, we had a carnage in December. You remember the latest one that happened. And some of us are saying the president has not done well by not visiting the carnage centers, and he still hasn't.
Excellent, Geoffrey. Border security is very essential. A borderless nation is a no country. If your border is porous, then there's nothing your security agent can do. Just like in a room, if you want to fleet your room or kill some mosquitoes, you need to shut down the windows and shut down your doors. If you open your windows and your doors and you're trying to fleet your room, you'll be doing it will be a wasted effort. That's how borderline is. I remember in 1999 in the Bakassi Peninsula, some guys just visited our formation and said, Oga, there are some group of guys moving around with some illegal goods. And that information came to us, and what happened? We accosted those guys. What happened? We have porous border area, and I tell you that in the four corners of Nigeria, the porosity of our national border is something to call for. I think the government should declare a state of emergency in our borderline. The immigration should carry out an assessment of our borders and proper mitigation factors. We don't need to fence our borders, Geoffrey. There are, technology in place that you can use to man your border, and you'll be able to, identify any criminal element moving around the governed space or maybe the governed space, and curtail them. So it's not magic. It's all about technology. It's all about character. It's all about readiness. Are we ready? We've been talking about security issues for the past 10, 12 years since Boko Haram sprang up. And I tell you that I think some people need to be held accountable from the security forces and also from the political area. And I think our politicians too should be called to order. In the last elections, we've seen that some criminal elements are being used, talks and everything. And this is a subject of discussion, because when you use talks in carry out during the election period, what you do is that you're satisfying crime. And most of these criminal elements believe that, okay, if politicians can use talks during the election, it's okay to commit crime in Nigeria. And that is one of the reasons that crime has been flourishing in this country. And I will call on our government to see this as a very serious threat. We need to, stop that nonsense. For me, Geoffrey, we need to also start getting technologies in place. I was in New York 4 months ago for a security conference, and I saw a lot of technologies, Geoffrey, that our Nigerian government can use. I will also advise our military to send some of our officers and men to attend most of these private security conferences in overseas, and bring in technology informations that they can use to support their operational strategy, so that they'll be able to bring Nigeria to a state of peace. And I must use this opportunity to salute our brave officers and men for putting their life on the line to protect this great nation. And the government of Nigeria must take very good care of our soldiers and officers and men, and those who pass on a line of action. Because for you to put your life on the line to protect your country, I think there is nothing that will be too small or too big big for you to be given by a nation. I salute their effort, and they need to also reassess their operational strategy so that they will bring Nigeria to a state of peace. I'm proud of them. We've done so well in Syria alone. We've done so well in Liberia and in other countries. How come in our own country, Boko Haram are staging attack against our military formation, our battalions, our brigade, and they're succeeding? Then I tell you that there is one or two criminal element or officer or some persons that are sabotaging the effort of our brave officers. This must stop, and the military has the capacity to stop this nonsense.
You know, Dr. Osagie, without seeming to overflog the issue, I'm wondering why, you know, a state-of-the-art structure like that innovation center, which is deployed to, you know, deploy surveillance to unmanned borders, why it's unable to check the influx of foreigners who are accessing the country, and why that has not been also matched with, you know, manpower, you know, throughout all of these borders that can also respond to security threat that has been detected with innovation. But clearly, it's an ongoing conversation, and we must anchor this one at this point and look forward to another time where we hopefully will be able to tell progress reports. We've been talking with Dr. Dickson Osagie. He's the CEO, the Breeze Protection Services Limited, and a security expert who has joined us from our Abuja studio. Thank you so much for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me, Bukola, and God bless our Nigerian military. Thank you.
Amen. And from here, we move on to another important topic of discussion, and this time around we're looking at bilateral relations between Nigeria and her foreign partners. Stay with us for this one. We'll be right back.